So you want to get better at texting and get more dates out of it. I got you! In this video, I'll go over 3 things you need to understand so you can spend less time fingering your phone and more time figuring other stuff. And I'll be covering different examples so you can see exactly how to apply it to your own conversations. By the end of this video, your texting should be getting you more dates, less flakes, and more cakes to be ate. Let's get based. The first thing you need to understand to improve your text game is the concept of goodwill. Goodwill is the idea of having friendly, helpful, or cooperative feelings or attitude. If you ask your friends to do something for you, they'll likely say yes if it's reasonable because they have goodwill with you. But if you were to ask a stranger to do the same thing, you're more likely to get turned down because they're not as willing to do so. This applies to dating heavily because you will deal with women of varying interests and thus different levels of goodwill. When you start a conversation with a girl that's interested in you, she'll usually be excited about it and give you back engaging and prompt responses. But as the conversation drags on, her level of patience may slowly drop, and you will get slower and less enthusiastic responses until she straight up ghosts you. For instance, let's say you get a girl's number and have a date planned out in a few days, and you decide to send her good morning texts. On the first day, she'll respond in kind and engage in small talk with you throughout the day. The second day, she doesn't respond until the afternoon, and she starts responding in hours, not minutes. On the third day, you send your text, and she straight up ghosts you. And now you're left in shambles, wondering what you did wrong. Texting is a very simple action, but it becomes tedious if you have to do it again and again with someone who has no direction. Remember, every time you have a text back and forth, the other person has to pick up their phone, look at your message, and think about how to respond, and then respond. If you're sending like 10 messages a day, then you're forcing the other person to go through this level of effort to match you. It does get real tiring to deal with. Let's go for an example. So this client of mine managed to set up a date with a chick off OkCupid within a few back and forths on the app using my messaging framework. He gets her phone number and uses the first few texts to clarify the date for the date, and it's set for a week out. Now after this point, he goes off on his own, and we'll see where it leads him. The very next day, he starts some small talk with her. Her response rate here is minutes, so they're just talking about what they're doing with their day, and her responses are quite enthusiastic. The next day, he starts small talk with her again, and they talk about what they had for dinner and what her plans were for the night. Then on day 3, he starts small talk once again for absolutely no reason at all and gets left on red before deciding to bail on her. She went from sending double hearts to gone like the wind like farts. Bars. Let's get into the specifics to illustrate how her goodwill diminished over time. The first few texts are fine because he's supposed to introduce himself with his first text and clarify date plans. But once the small talk begins, these are the questions and statements he gives which require a response. Day 1. Did you get a chance to relax today? What does a normal chill Sunday look like for you? You doing anything fun for the rest of the day? What he's doing for the night? And a closing text with some simpy emojis, which are reciprocated for now. 5 back and forths. Day 2. How was your day so far? What are you having for dinner? How was your dinner yesterday and where did you guys go? His response on her dinner and what he did last night. And finally, what are your plans for the rest of the night? Another 5 back and forths. Within 2 days, this girl had to pick up her phone and respond to my guy 10 times. And that was all it took for her to become sick of him. And she was highly interested from the start too, as she was sprinkling in a bunch of emojis. All of these back and forths were things that could have been talked about during the date, and instead, he traded it in for temporary validation over text. The second thing you need to understand to improve your text game is to have the end in mind and to calibrate your word choices. I get it. Texting a baddie that you could potentially have fun times with can make you excited and giddy, but that can also drive you to nosedive the conversation. The main drawback of texting is not being able to visually or verbally demonstrate your tone, but the main benefit is that you can take your time in crafting out perfect responses, and you have full control over where you want the conversation to go. The problem is that most guys have no plan in mind and text about random shorty, and then get surprised when they get ghosted after taking things absolutely nowhere. Girls have options, and if you're gonna waste their time, they'll find someone else who can lead them comfortably to setting up plans, like me. So first off, you need to figure out if a chick you're talking to is open to setting up a date, or if she's there for fun and to waste your time. If you're trying to move things forward and she redirects the convo into a gutter, I'm gonna unmatch and head out. But if the interest is there, then I need to lead her comfortably to the promised land. I know where we both want to go, but we have to do it at her pace. So that's why, during the app messaging phase, I tried to build a little bit of rapport, not to get myself off for being a Riz Lord, but to make her excited about the prospect of meeting me. Trust me, I'm sending out these fire lines that mix girls cream with a completely straight face. And as we work our way towards the date, we have to make sure that we're not jumping the gun by being too forward over text. Here, my guy Steven starts his text conversation by referring back to walking plans and then jumps immediately to innuendo on his second text.
Daddy, chill.
This one text immediately shifted the vibe and went from date setup to damage control. Steven was overconfident because of prior success on other dates and brought it over to a girl who wasn't down with it. He had to spend another message backtracking to explain himself. This date was headed towards some human tumbling, but ended up as another case of fumbling. Bars. And finally, the third thing you need to understand to improve your text game is to focus on logistics first and add rapport if needed. The sole reason why I'm even texting girls in the first place is because I want to set up a meetup plan. Anything else is just a waste of time and pointless to me. That's why I have an escalation ladder as part of my messaging framework. And within it, there's a logistics ladder. Just because you're dealing with an interested girl doesn't mean she wants to meet up with you. You have to take things one step at a time to maintain goodwill and solidify plans without unnecessary backtracking. So my first step is always suggesting the date. We're not going to force anything here, but we are making our intentions to move forward clear. I then move from app to text if possible, so I can have a more direct line to her and save her the hassle of getting back on the app again, just for me. Next step would be to probe for her availability. I know what mine is, but I don't know hers, and I don't want to impose a time and date that doesn't work for her. Once I get a better picture of her schedule, I will suggest a date that should fit with a time, usually at night. When we agree on that, I will then suggest a place based on information about her location from her profile. Once that's agreed on, then we have a date locked up. If it's a few days out, all I need to do is text occasionally and for brief moments to keep her engaged and not make her feel neglected. A mistake some guys do here is jump the gun on this because they assume the date is going to happen no matter what, and they can just make all of these decisions right away. But if you do that and pick wrong, not only will you damage goodwill a little bit, but you will then have to backtrack and do more back and forths to fix things up. Again, that means more phone pickups and set downs. So some quick examples. The first convo from earlier. She explicitly says she's free all week except Monday and Thursday. And my man blindly suggests Thursday because he read things wrong. So he had to send a few messages to clarify things. And then we have this convo from Steven. He built up some good rapport talking about traveling with this match, and at the high point, he decided to immediately suggest activity, location, and day options right away. That's a lot of decision making to place upon a girl who's just down with the idea of meeting up. While he did get her number, this interaction did not pan out to a date, and I wonder why. So let's put it all together. This is how you develop solid text game that gets you dates without bringing in loads of nonsense. First, you understand that girls have limited goodwill, and you text in a way that moves things along without abusing it. Second, you keep the end goal in mind of texting for dates and calibrate the words in your messages so you're not scaring girls away. And lastly, you handle logistics with her cooperation so you're not stepping on any toes, setting things up. And then you text only for rapport if you have to wait a few days. My texting framework is so efficient and effective that if you compare my conversations with most other guys, it only takes 1 to 3 swipes to get through my convos versus many more for them. I'm not texting like a headless chicken or dancing monkey. I got things to do and games of Smash to play. Hell, after some rounds of Smash, I'll actually breed some combos from other matches for Pillow Talk and go down multiple thumb swipes just to see bros still talking about his lunch and shit. So if you're trying to be like me, then take all of these to heart and you'll be filling up your calendar and other things of note. And that's all for now. If you're still here, I appreciate you as always, and you should like, subscribe if you haven't already, and let me know what you guys think in the comments. Don't forget to join the Discord, and if you want to work with me one-on-one to get the fast track to a better dating life, book a call with me and we'll go from there. I'll handle everything from photos to combos for you. We can shoot anywhere from Seattle and LA all the way to New York City. That's all for now. Stay based and stop texting like a simp, bro. Bye-bye.